In this video, we're going to talk about compact and spongy bone. So compact bone and here we're looking at a cross-section of a long bone. The compact bone is going to be towards the outside of the bone, whether you're talking about a long bone or a short bone or a regular bone. The compact bone is going to be towards the outside of the bone. And in a long bone, what we're looking at right here, you would see a lot of compact bone in the shaft of the bone, also called the diaphysis, whereas the spongy bone would be concentrated in the epiphysis of the long bone, or the head of the long bone, or the ends of the long bone. Now, if we were talking about a different shape, like an irregular bone or a short bone, the compact bone would be on the outside, and then the spongy bone would be sandwiched in between. But as far as looking at it, so macroscopically speaking, so looking at this, we can see that the compact bone is much more homogeneous. It looks very smooth. It is compact, which is why it's called compact bone. So the bone that we're going to look at in the functional unit of the bone, the osteons, that we are going to look at in the next slide, they are tightly packed together. Whereas in the spongy bone, you can see these spaces in the spongy bone, and that gives the spongy bone a spongy appearance, which is why it's called spongy bone. If we look at a microscopic image, so the histology of compact bone, what we are looking at here, we are looking at one osteon. And an osteon is the functional unit of compact bone. So within compact bone consists of many of these osteons that are arranged parallel to one another. Okay, and that creates the compact bone that we saw in that previous slide. But within an osteon, you have some different structures. So this first structure, right in the middle, it's called the central canal or Haversian canal. So within the middle of the osteon, this Haversian canal, you have blood vessels, nerves that will come up through this area, and that's going to provide nourishment to the bone cells, the osteocytes. So if you, and hopefully what you're seeing is a little bit better. I'm on a big screen and this is very blurry, but surrounding or in concentric circles around that Haversian canal, you have, it almost appears like the rings that you see in a tree if you cut a tree in half. So you have these rings of a tree trunk. Similar to that, you have these rings of the osteon, and those are referred to as lamella. So going around, surrounding the Haversian canal, those concentric rings, those are called lamella. Lamella, and that's plural. And then, which is a little bit less distinct, but there are these little teeny lines that will radiate, almost like the spokes on a bicycle wheel, that will radiate from the Haversian canal and go through the lamella. Those radiating lines are called trabeculae. Excuse me, not trabeculae, canaliculi. Canaliculi. So you can sort of think of it as like little canals. So there are little canaliculi, and those canaliculi will attach to these dark areas, and those dark areas are called lacuna. Within the lacuna is where the osteocytes are going to be. So the bone cells, osteocytes, are within the lacuna. So the blood vessels and nerves come up through the central canal, and oxygen and other nutrients can travel through these little canaliculi to the lacuna to provide nourishment to the osteocytes that are found in the lacuna. Now, you're not going to be able to see an osteocyte in an image like this, but they are located within the lacuna. Then spongy bone. So unlike compact bone, that you have these parallel, tightly packed together osteons, in spongy bone you have a network of what are called trabeculae. So all these little pink, dark pink areas, those are referred to as trabeculae. Trabeculae, that's plural for that. So those are all little spicules of bone throughout, and within spongy bone. So if you remember the cross section of the long bone, so the appearance without a microscope, it looks spongy in nature. So microscopically, you're going to see these spaces, and these spaces are where bone marrow will accumulate. So these are called marrow spaces. Okay, so that's spongy bone. And here we can look up, this is just a close, a higher magnification of the spongy bone that we saw on the previous slide. So you have the open areas, that's the marrow space, and then surrounding those trabeculae that we saw, we have osteoblasts. So as we move through the skeletal system, we're going to talk about some different bone cells. We have osteoblasts, osteoclasts, and osteocytes. Osteocytes are bone cells that are going to maintain the extracellular matrix, okay? And osteocyte is basically an osteoblast that has laid down bone, and now it's surrounded by bone. So osteoblasts are bone-forming cells. And as osteoblasts lay down bone, if those cells become entrapped in bone tissue, then they are referred to as osteocytes. And osteocytes are within this lacuna surrounded by bone. And we do see that in spongy bone as well as in compact bone. But we'll talk more about those different cells as we move through the skeletal system. Then the different cartilage. So we have three different cartilage types. We have hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, and fibrocartilage. And you do need to be able to recognize them, and you need to be able to identify places where you would find hyaline cartilage. So hyaline cartilage, a key thing with hyaline cartilage is that in the extracellular matrix, so everything outside of the cell, so the cells are going to be located in a lacuna. So we have these, they're chondrocytes because they're cartilage cells. But everything outside of that, this is the extracellular matrix, and it's very glassy in appearance. There are no visible protein fibers, so it gives it a glassy appearance. Hyaline cartilage is found in the costal cartilage of the rib cage. It's found in the articular cartilage on the ends of long bones. So in the joint cavities, there's where we see it. We see it in the nose. We see it making up the rings in the trachea. We also see hyaline cartilage in the larynx. But you need to be able to identify it. And here's another image, microscopic image of hyaline cartilage. This is not as great of a microscopic image, but this is something that you might see in the lab. But again, in the back, you don't, in the extracellular matrix, it's very glassy in appearance. You don't have any visible protein fibers. Elastic cartilage, you still can see those chondrocytes within the lacuna, okay? Surrounding that, though, in the extracellular matrix, you do see these fine fibers, and those are elastic fibers. And so that is a distinguishable feature, microscopic feature of elastic cartilage. Location of elastic cartilage, we see elastic cartilage in the external ear and also in the epiglottis. And here's another image of elastic cartilage. So again, you can see the chondrocyte in the lacuna, and then in the extracellular matrix, you see these very fine elastic fibers. Then the last type of cartilage is the fibrocartilage. Fibrocartilage, you still have the chondrocytes in the lacuna, But then surrounding that, you have a very dense network of collagen fibers. Okay, so that's what gives a distinguishable feature of fiber cartilage. In the extracellular matrix, you see that dense network of collagen. So location of fiber cartilage, we see it in the intervertebral disc between the vertebrae of the spine. You see it in the pubic symphysis, and also in the disc of the knee, the menisci of the knee, we see fibrocartilage. And here is just another image. Again, you can see the chondrocytes and the lacuna, but then you can see those dark pink lines, and that is a very dense network of collagen fibers. So those are the histological tissues of the skeletal system.